Hey zookeepers, good morning and welcome back to the Feenstra Zoo. Sorry for the late episode. Well, I missed a whole episode, a whole cycle, and I am sorry. Guys, long story short, there's a lot happening behind the scenes here, and I haven't been able to keep up with the schedule that I want, and I'm not willing to release product that I'm not happy with, I'm not proud of, so I'm not going to rush stuff just to get things out on time. I want to make sure that what I put out is good enough quality as well as something that I can be proud of. So I am sorry. I will do my best to do better for you. Anyway, before I jump in here, I just want to put a quick plug for the new sponsors of the show. First off, the Viking Goods Company and Crunch Cup. These guys are two spectacular companies. Products I could not be happier with. They're fantastic. Thank you to both of these companies for supporting the zoo. And you guys know that supporting these companies supports the show. Links are in the show notes down below. We're going to hear a little bit more about them later, though. Now, I puzzled with how to start this episode for a while, mostly because it's a very important topic. Today, I want to explore a bit about dating both before and while you're married. I know this can be a bit of a touchy subject because everyone has their own ideas and opinions on it. If you have any questions, you want clarifications of what I'm saying, or you don't agree with me, or whatever it is, if you feel like something has to be said, reach out to me. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're at. Just send me a link, send me a message. I'm happy to have conversation on this. But I guess the best part to start with is, timeline. Why do we even date people before we're married? Is it just to pass the time, just something to do with your free time? Or is it to find a partner, or just someone to bring to bed this weekend? Is it to find your future spouse, or to discover what we're looking for in a future spouse? Personally, I like what Jeff Bethke said about it. He said, dating with no intent to marry is like going to the grocery store with no money. You either leave unhappy or you take something that isn't yours. So by that metric, the purpose of dating is the courtship or pursuit of your future spouse. And honestly, I wish I realized this way sooner than I did. I wish that I could tell 14-year-old Spencer that dating in high school was completely pointless, and that dating is so much more than just something to do for fun. Now, I'm lucky that by some grace of God, I've only ever slept with my wife. But that doesn't mean that I don't have some hard-learned lessons along this path. I'll save most of those stories for a different episode. To continue on this one, it leads into the question that if the purpose of dating is to pursue your future spouse, then what is the purpose of dating while we're married? I'm going to run you through a list of things and then dive into each a bit more, but the quick list is: dating while you're married increases intimacy between you and your spouse. It gives you a little mini vacation night. It keeps things fun. It's a physical representation of you prioritizing your spouse. It models healthy relationships for your kids if you have kids. It is a purpose-filled, intentional pursuit of your spouse. And simply, it keeps you on the same page. So for starters, let's go back to the top of the list here. It helps build and maintain intimacy. You see, intimacy is just so much more than just sex. It's the millions of strands of connection between you and your partner. And how do you plan on making or strengthening those points without uninterrupted time spent with your partner? Use this time to get to know your spouse, who they are today, because newsflash, they are different today than the day you married them, and certainly different today than when you started dating. And guys, a date night is more than just a night off. Treat these as mini vacations, especially if you're parents, because it is hard, so hard to get away when you have kids, especially if they're young kids. Tinsley and Hadley, they're 8 and 6, and real date nights, go out, dinner, movie, they're few and far between. So stack this night with all of your favorite things. And do your best not to talk shop or feel guilty about having fun without your little mini humans around. People, dating is fun. And when you're doing it right with your spouse, or it will keep your relationship fun. It gives you something to look forward to. Like I said, you stack all your favorite things. Mini vacations. Take advantage of them. This will also show your spouse that you love and care about them. It makes them a priority. In doing so, it will show them how much you respect and appreciate them. Carving out a date night is the perfect representation of intentionality behind your relationship. Not just the we have 10 minutes, you wanna, winky face, ding. It's pursuit, not opportunity. I'm going to pause there because let me repeat that for you. This is pursuit of your spouse, not just opportunity. Intention behind why you're doing things matters. If you're just finding 10 minutes to, run away from your kids, great, do it. Take advantage of that time. Worth it. Absolutely. But it can't be the only option. Intentions of date nights, planning, forethought, creativity, spontaneity. Guys, these are important things. Don't underestimate them and don't undersell them. If you have kids, especially dating age kids, you are the model they have for a healthy relationship. Make sure they have a good representation. Otherwise, they will just be lost in the woods trying to find their own path. They'll be looking to the internet. They'll be looking to their peers. I remember 14-year-old Spencer, 16-year-old Spencer, 18-year-old Spencer. He's not the guy you want teaching your kids about dating. He didn't know much. Do you want to know some stats? Doesn't matter. It's my show. I'm going to tell you them anyway. Okay. Over half of all married couples, around 52%, report never or very rarely going out on dates. The remaining of the remaining 48%, only 41% of that 48% report going out on a regular basis, meaning once or twice a month. Married people in that 41% reported to being much happier and far more fulfilled in their relationship. And 21% of that 41% said they had an extremely high sexual satisfaction, while only 3% of the original 21% reported any satisfaction. If that's not cause to go out on a date and date regularly, I don't know what is. You know, I guess you could boil this episode down to one major theme. It's about prioritizing your partner. I mean, being married is about so much more than your wedding day or how you filed your taxes. It's a covenant between God, you, and your spouse. Look at Mark 10, verse 7 and 9. God brought you together. Now there is no exit strategy. This is a lifestyle that everything else is molded around in your life. This is a life of choosing to love your partner every day. And yes, that is a choice. This is a life of compassion, not necessarily of passion. What do I mean by this? Okay. For starters, people can't sustain that fire of the honeymoon phase of marriage. You know, when every touch, every look, every smirk is exciting and sends butterflies into your stomach and shivers down your spine. It can't last forever. It won't last forever. Your choice of caring and compassion daily, this is what's going to sustain your relationship. This is what's going to see you through those days when that fire is cold. This choice, it's a slow burn. It's the deeper emotions, the long intertwining of two lives becoming one. This will sustain you between those passionate flash in the pan love moments. Guys, those moments, it's more like a drug high than real connection. That passion, that fire moment, like anything, these are subject to diminishing returns. Meaning that the more you use these things to sustain you, the harder it is going to be to find those highs. And then you end up either going in search of bigger or better highs, or, you know, it's that chase, it's that on to the next one mentality. It's that 3 months down the road after I say I do, when you realize that, you know, I just don't feel the same. His smile doesn't make me tingle. That her touch doesn't, you know, when that starts to happen, you start to think that, oh, something must be wrong. I made a wrong decision. Best I cancel this. I get out before someone really gets hurt. Guys, this is how hookup culture started. It's that I don't care to put in the romance, put in the effort. I just want the high. Do you want to know an incredibly hard pill to swallow? Marriage was never designed primarily to make you happy. I mean, it's a fantastic byproduct of living with the one you love and putting in the work. But happiness is not the main purpose. You know, in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 27 to 30, you learn that it's stewardship. Marriage is stewardship and a reflection of God's image and creation. it's about, Genesis 2:18, it's about that companionship. Matthew 19:4-6, it's that lifelong commitment. It's that covenant. And there's an overarching theme through all of all of the ways that Jesus and the writers of the scripture talk about it. Like that, there's this overarching theme. It's that service and that intimacy to God's creation, and namely your spouse. But guys, there is good news. The good news is that God does want you to be happy and fulfilled and to find joy and life and love with your partner. Jesus said that he wants you to live life and have life to the fullest. But, like I said, the driving force for your life is not meant to be your happiness. And marriage, the primary purpose of your spouse is not to make you happy, but it is to honor and give service to God. And the flip side of this, guys, you don't need to be married or dating to do this. Jesus was not married, nor did he ever date. Paul, same deal. 1 Corinthians 7 says that you're probably going to have less trouble and certainly less distraction if you stay single. But if you do choose to date, if you do choose the married life, do it for the right reasons. Date with the intention of forever. And once you say I do, dating is not just a good idea, it is an absolute requirement. Make your husband or wife a huge priority in your life. Whether you have kids or not, make your relationship one that you want your kids to see. Make your relationship one that they want to model their own relationships after. And guys, I'm going to close with this. Okay? Even though your spouse is not simply here to make you happy, a healthy, loving marriage, I promise, will bring you joy. And one of the secrets there is dating your spouse. Zookeepers, while you're online here, please check out the sponsors of the zoo. First, Crunch Cup. Guys, this is an amazing product. I use mine all the time. It is the best way to have cereal on the go. It's a cup with a chamber inside of it to keep your milk and your cereal separate. And it makes it so easy. Your cereal stays crunchy, your milk stays cold. It's easy to have on the go. I use mine all the time. Next, the Viking Goods Company. These guys are a clothing line with a difference. They have amazing designs. They're top quality, cruelty-free, ethically sourced materials. You need to see the Octopus collection. I absolutely love it. Guys, the links are in the show notes down below. Remember, supporting them is going to support the show. So please go check them out. That is it for me today, guys. Remember, I love you. God bless.